Day 83 of the war in Gaza has IDF troops in ongoing battles on two key remaining Hamas strongholds. This is IDF Chief of Staff Tel Aviv met with commanders of the Northern Front and approved plans to confront Hezbollah in Lebanon. ILTV's Steve Leibovich has more.
Until now, Israel has been trying to avoid a two-front war, but intense, daily, incoming barrages damaging evacuated Israeli towns on the Lebanese border are changing the equation. IDF troops inside the terrorist enclave in Gaza are operating intensively in several locations. The main battlefields are the Hamas strongholds around Al-Barej and Khan Yunis. Most of the Hamas leadership is believed to be hiding in underground bunkers under Khan Yunis. Forces reached the office of Hamas leader Mohammed Deif and found a rare photo of the elusive terrorist.
בדרום, כוחותינו נלחמים במספר מוקדים מרכזיים בעזה. אחד באזור הנקרא אל-בורג', זה אזור במחנות המרכז, שם אנחנו ביום השלישי להתקפה, הורגים מחבלים רבים ומחסלים תשתיות טרור. השני זה ח'אן יונס. ח'אן יונס בדרום הרצועה, מוקד טרור מרכזי של החמאס, שם אנחנו הרחבנו את הפעולה, הוספנו היום חטיבה נוספת למרחב הזה, ואנחנו ממשיכים לפעול שם, בשימוש בשיטות לחימה חדשות מעל האדמה ומתחתיה.
Israeli forces pounded central Gaza by land, sea, and air. Dozens of terrorists were killed in the ongoing fighting. The IDF also demolished another massive tunnel network near Antissi Hospital. It spanned several kilometers and reached Gaza City.
הבית הזה שימש סדר גודל של בין חוליה לכיתה של חמאס. ניתן לראות כאן את כמות המדים. ניתן לראות כאן במרחב הזה נפצים, להפעלת מטעני חבלה תקניים, מאולתרים, מסכות פנים, ציוד להזיקה או חטיפה, ציוד רפואי, רימונים, נשקים, מחסניות רבות, פצמ"רים, חומר עיוני, וכאן ניתן לראות ציוד לחפירה, לכל מה שקשור למנהרות, בין אם זה עטי חפירה ובין אם זה כבלים. כבל השחור, שניתן לראות שמגיע מהמרכז הקהילתי ועובר פה דרך הבית, מוביל לפיר.
Meanwhile, potential for a second IDF offensive is growing. Chief of Staff Tel Aviv has approved war plans for the Northern Front and potential war on Hezbollah in Lebanon. After meeting Major General Ori Gordon and heads of the IDF Northern Command, Halevi warned that Israel is ready to attack. The Israeli government wants the message to be clear.
Despite our severe warnings, Hezbollah continues its unprovoked aggression against Israeli territory. We are now at a fork in the road. Either Hezbollah backs off from the Israeli border in line with UN Resolution 1701 from 2006, or we will push it away ourselves.
The announcement came on the heaviest day of Hezbollah rocket fire into Israeli communities on the Lebanese border since the start of the war in Gaza. There were no injuries in the largely evacuated towns, but Kiryat Shmona and Rosh Hanikra suffered heavy damages as at least 34 rockets targeted the northern border towns.
They deny the kidnapping of our children, the murder of our grandchildren, the rape of our daughters. The new Nazis we face today will stop at nothing to destroy civilization as we know it. The World Jewish Congress was created exactly for these times like this, so every Jew can fall asleep at night knowing they are safe in their own home. We are a voice for the Jewish people everywhere. We are the World Jewish Congress.
And joining us now is Director of the International Institute for Counterterrorism, Miri Eisen. Miri, welcome, and I hope you're feeling better. There's a nasty flu going around, I know.
I know. I looked at myself and I thought, really, I'm on TV, but hey, for ILTV, it's important enough.
That's amazing. Thank you so much. Now, you know, lots to cover. Let's start with Gaza. 2 months into the ground operation, and the IDF Chief of Staff says it will take more months to complete the destruction of Hamas as a military force. Does that sound about right to you?
It not only sounds right, it actually sounds very consistent. We have a tendency not to listen, meaning we want it to be over quickly. We want our soldiers to be home. We want to feel safe, secure. We need the hostages. But throughout this, both ground operation and this entire war, we've said steadily, I as a commentator, the chief of staff certainly, that this is not a short war. This is not an easy war, and it's one that you need to do systematically and carefully to be able to achieve both aims, to bring back the hostages and to destroy Hamas's capabilities. This is going to take a while. It sounds not just logical, it is the military way to go about and achieve our aims.
Yes, you know, in the beginning in Israel, they said 1 year, then they said until the end of January, and then they'll reduce the force of, of the attack in Gaza. But, we'll have to wait. Now, Hamas forces are being degraded for sure. Are there any signs, even preliminary, that we can reach its leadership and really crush remaining organized resistance? Or are we headed, to a long, drawn-out standoff?
Well, at the end, we all understand the two challenges that exist in front of us. The Gaza Strip is an urban, populated, over 2 million people area. That is the base of Hamas's defenses, what we call the above ground. It's the hardest kind of place to fight in. There is no easy way. The amount of casualties that we see, Israeli soldiers on the one hand, but also the civilians on the other hand, are an enormous challenge, and we need to destroy Hamas. So we want to get to those leaders, but it's not just above ground, it's the subterranean arena. And those leaders are most definitely in that subterranean arena. We've already been destroying the northern tunneling system. The different type of photos that we're seeing now are from those ones, the ones that are in the northern Gaza Strip. That's not where Yahya Sinwar, the commander of Hamas, is now, or his number 2 or number 3. Some of the photos have come out lately. They're going to be in the central south part where Israel, with the IDF, is now working slowly. We will get to them, but this is about definitely destroying all of the command and control capabilities so that they can't fight in an organized way at all anymore.
Yes, definitely. Now, Miri, IDF Chief of Staff Herzi Halevi was at the Northern Command and readied battle plans to confront Hezbollah in Lebanon. The damage to towns, is becoming unbearable. We're seeing it. Would you be surprised to see the order given even in the coming days?
I don't know if they will give an all-out order, but there's no question that Israel, in accordance in that sense to what we take responsibility or don't, there was an air attack in Damascus, killing a very high-ranking Revolutionary Guard Iranian. But he was the main character, the main figure who supplied the weapons from Iran through Syria to Hezbollah. The uptake of the attacks of Hezbollah against Israel is impossible. The Hezbollah are trying to create a situation where there is a de facto almost security area inside Israel, not in Lebanon, where tens of thousands of Israelis cannot live in their homes, where they are attacking those homes. And this is impossible. The IDF have consistently responded to attacks, but over the last week and a half, I can see much more what I call preemptive attacks, attacking the different Hezbollah strongholds before they attack. And this is an upgrade, and it could be that we will expand. I don't know that it will be in the next few days.
Miri, thank you so much for your insights as always. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Experience the power of truth with ILTV News. If you're looking for quality content and captivating visuals, join our news community and become an integral part of our team as we embark on a mission to unveil the real Israel, dismantling the web of lies and misinformation that surround reporting on Israel. By subscribing to ILTV News, you will not only have access to the latest updates, but you will also amplify our message, creating a ripple effect that carries the truth far and wide. Subscribe today and help reshape the narrative. Available on the web, Android, and Apple.
The IDF announces the deaths of 3 soldiers in fighting in the Gaza Strip yesterday, bringing the toll of slain troops since the start of the ground offensive to 167. The fallen heroes are Sergeant First Class Asaf Pinchas Tubul, 22, from the 7th Armored Brigade. He was killed in southern Gaza in a battle that seriously wounded another officer and soldier of the 77th Battalion. Major Dvir Fima, 32, the deputy commander of the 460th Armored Brigade. Fima was killed in central Gaza in a battle that seriously wounded one more soldier. And Captain Neria Zisk, 24, a company commander in 401st Armored Brigade. He was also killed in central Gaza in a separate battle. And may their memory be blessed forever. And now Kfar Aza was one of the kibbutzim most heavily affected by the Hamas massacre on October 7th. ILTV's Ariel Alachiani visited the place, still looking and smelling as if that tragic day happened just yesterday, and spoke to one of the massacre survivors. Take a look.
I'm here now in the south of Israel in kibbutz Kfar Aza, which was one of the communities most severely hit by the October 7th massacre. I can't even begin to tell you the devastation I've witnessed here today. You see pictures, you see videos, you hear stories, but nothing will compare to coming here and seeing it with your own eyes. We've just been given an incredible tour by Gon Susanna, and I'm about to speak to her sister Lir, who was here on October 7th to hear a little bit about her experience.
We woke up at 6:30 maybe, hearing Tzeva Adom, and it didn't stop. It was something unusual. Usually you have time between the bombs, but now it was crazy. So I said to my dad, let's go out for a second, just let's find out what is going on. And 5 minutes later, someone ran across our street and just screamed, there's lots of terrorists in the kibbutz. It's something that never happened. I live here all my life. I go to the shelter room. And at this point, we realized something is going on. Our head of the security team didn't send any message of what's going on. I think that 2 hours later, we started to realize what's going on. People are getting murdered. Everything is on WhatsApp because people are in the shelter rooms and they don't have any reception. So they send everything on WhatsApp. So you start to see that there are terrorists at every point in the kibbutz. And you just wait. We wait 12 hours till the IDF soldiers started rescuing people outside the kibbutz. And like we said earlier, when you got to the gas station, you could find out who is living and who is not. And later we found out that the horrible things they did beside killing and burning alive, raping and amputating and everything you can imagine. I don't want even to say for the privacy of my friends and families, but it was horrible. We slowly started to figure out what was going on here. My dad and my boyfriend tried to think about how to prevent them from coming in, maybe taking off the door handle from the outside so they can come in. We started thinking what to do, also thinking about my brothers. I have one brother, Gon. He was in the center part of the kibbutz with his wife and his 6-year-old son. He was 5-month-old, his baby boy. And my older brother was near the Dor Tzayir with his wife. And we were very worried about them because we knew there's lots of terrorists around them. We can hear it on the voice messages, the Allahu Akbar and the stuff outside their windows. Gon went out first when he saw that there are too many of them. He called Yam, my oldest brother, and asked him to go back home. That it's not a regular situation that you can now somehow help the security team. There wasn't any security team at that point. Most of them were dead at that point. So he understood that he needs to go back home and try to save his neighbors maybe because he had a weapon. So he took them into his house to shelter them also, to try to shelter them also.
Do you have any hope for the future? What do you think? Do you think you'll come back here?
I really want to come back here. I really want to come back to my home. I need to figure out if I can sleep at night. If we'll feel safe again. We believe in peace. We always believed in peace. We just wanted to live quietly. We wanted to understand what do the other side want. All of my life, I knew that living like this with rockets and alarms, it's not normal. But it's something that I could take. I can live here, I can run when there's an alarm, I can do this. But 500 terrorists, I can't handle it. So it must never happen again.
And right now we have the privilege of sitting down with entrepreneur, author, and fashion designer Julia Hart, best known for her role in the Netflix reality series My Unorthodox Life. And these days she's touring Israel with her children, being an incredible ambassador. And this week she spent a day with IDF troops in Gaza and even let go of her iconic heels for the matter. Julia, I'm very happy to have you here with us today. How are you doing?
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate you.
It's our pleasure. Now, I want to ask you, what made you come to Israel right now, really meet families of the hostages, meet the soldiers, go into Gaza? Not why now, but what made you come really right now?
You know, I think that there are moments in history and in our own personal lives where we have a choice to make. Do we take the expedient, convenient, easy route of silence and I don't want to get involved? It's certainly easier. It certainly, is safer. Or do we stand up for what we believe in? Do we shout and use our voice and utilize our audience to tell the truth, no matter how unpopular it is? And I felt that, I believe in in destiny and in fate, and I think perhaps all the fame that we've acquired may be for this particular moment. Maybe the reason my Netflix show was successful, maybe the reason I had to become a public figure is so the day that the Jewish people were in danger, I could utilize my voice and my children could do the same to help Klal Yisrael. And I think to be sitting on my couch yelling would not have had the same effect. I needed to come here, I needed to show my physical support, I needed to let people know that this country is a bastion of democracy and freedom, and that I will stand behind it with every ounce of strength in my body.
It's just the first question, and I'm already tearing up. It's not difficult with me, but you already did it. You actually used your platform really to show the diversity of Israel, to spread everything that's happening here, not just within the military, but also the communities, the society, the people. What comments are you getting from people around the world? I'm sure it's not easy.
Yeah.
And many celebrities, even the Jewish ones, not only are not coming here, but are also not saying anything or writing anything. What comments are you getting, really?
Well, I have two things to say about that because I think you've made a very, very important point. And that is, why aren't more celebrities, why aren't more actors, actresses, famous people, especially if they're Jewish, why aren't they coming forward? Why aren't they speaking up? And to me, this is very reminiscent of what happened in World War II, where you had three groups of people, right? You had the Nazis, the people who were purposefully and willingly hurting Jewish people, destroying the Jewish people. Then you had a group of people, which is what I think these silenced humans are right now, who just didn't want to get involved. They didn't want to be in trouble. The SS and the Gestapo was scary. They just said, let us live our lives. We don't believe in what they're doing. We don't know enough. We're not comfortable. We just want to be left alone. And then the third group of people were the people who hid Jews in their homes, who put their lives and their families' lives in danger to do the right thing. And what people don't realize is that for years, Nazism was popular. Being part of the SS system, being part of Nazis, you got wealth, you took over Jewish houses, you got money, you got paintings, life was good for you. And then the world readjusted and woke up and said, oh my God, the Germans just tried to slaughter the entire Jewish nation, 6 million people killed in gas chambers, etc. The people who stayed silent, they were considered compliant. Yeah. They were considered as if, and I genuinely believe this, they allowed it to happen. To me, silence is not only compliance, it's violence. Because if you don't speak up, you're basically saying what they're doing is okay. And it may be popular now, and it may be comfortable now, but the world always readjusts itself. And whether it's next year or in 2 years, the world will wake up and say, oh my gosh, the slaughter of innocent teenagers, the murdering of babies, the kidnapping of elderly people is evil. And those who stayed silent, I promise them.
We don't have the privilege.
I promise them that their children and their grandchildren will be ashamed of them.
Of course.
I promise them that they will regret their silence. And I ask them to look into their hearts, to be brave, to have courage and stand up for what's right, whether it's popular or not, because history will remember.
It's true, and I want to ask you, you're saying speaking up for a cause, you are very loud, Speaking of women rights, right? I mean, in your series, The Unorthodox Life, you went out of this, really ultra-Orthodox community and showed how important it is for a woman to stand up for her own and be her own self and be, independent and all that. And what we're seeing right now, witnessing another thing, women organizations shutting up and not saying anything and really ignoring what happened here with women on October 7, rape and slaughter and all that. What message do you have for these organizations right now?
Stop with the but. I am so sick of hearing the word but. Oh yes, it's bad to rape women, but. It's bad to take away their rights, but. There is no but. How can you consider yourself a liberal? How can you consider yourself a feminist when you're only applying those ideals to everyone but Jewish women? There are no buts. And I went around the country, as you said. I've spoken to Muslims. I've met with transgender, Druze and Muslims. I've met, there's this amazing college, Marcia College, which helps women, transgender and gays who have left extremist fundamentalist communities to receive education, get a profession, and be able to support themselves. And in one voice, they all say to me, we don't understand what's happening in the world. Don't they get that Hamas will kill all of us? If you support Hamas, you're supporting the murder of LGBTQIA people. You're supporting a community that says women can't travel without a husband's permission. Women get married off as teenagers and children and have lots of babies. These women have no autonomy in their life, no self-determination. How can you be a liberal and support a community and a terrorist, murderous, monstrous organization that will kill the very people who are supporting it? I don't understand it.
I don't understand it either. I mean, we thought, and the Hamas terrorists documented everything, and everything was filmed, and everything was so out there on social media. Nothing was hidden, but it's still happening. And people like you are a super important voice in this world. And thank you so much for joining us today, Julia.
Thank you for having me.
It was a real pleasure, and continue your amazing work. We're here to cheer.
Hey, I'm loud, honey.
You are, and it's amazing. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. You have stayed up to date on the latest news in Israel, and now you can stay up to date on the Hebrew language too with our last Hebrew word of the week, where along with eTeacher, we learned a new Hebrew word relating to current events. And if you're interested in learning more about the Hebrew language, you can check out eTeacher by scanning the barcode on the screen below. So let's take a look at today's word of the week.
Welcome to Hebrew Word of the Week. I'm Ariella, and in this segment, together with eTeacher, we explore the beauty and depth of the Hebrew language. We'll learn a new Hebrew word or phrase and see how it's used in the Bible, current events, and everyday life. Let's dive into today's Hebrew word, chadashot, which means news. This word is essential in our fast-paced world as it represents the latest updates and events that shape our understanding of the world around us. The word chadashot encompasses a wide range of topics, including current events, updates, and reports on various subjects. In modern Hebrew, staying informed with the chadashot is crucial in our fast-paced world. It helps us stay connected and aware of what's happening locally and globally. Here are some examples of how the word chadashot is used in a sentence. Ani ro'a et hachadashot kol boker, which means I watch the news every morning. החדשות מספקות מידע עדכני על אירועים בעולם. The news provides up-to-date information about events worldwide. So if you're interested in learning more about the Hebrew language, check out eTeacher. This online and live course is the most established Hebrew language instruction institution. You can learn with a time-proven method for every level or start from scratch. eTeacher offers dynamic online courses with live video lessons, weekly webinars, and ample support, which allows you to connect to a lively global community for an enriched learning experience. Click the link below and visit the eTeacher website today to learn more.
Hi, this is Joel Rosenberg, editor of All Israel News. Sign up for our free daily email for the latest news from Jerusalem. Go to allisrael.com.
And now let's take a look at the weather forecast. Mostly cloudy skies are expected tonight throughout the country with lows of around 12 degrees Celsius or 54 degrees Fahrenheit. Then tomorrow, partly cloudy skies and steady rising temperatures set to reach highs of 21 degrees Celsius or 70 degrees Fahrenheit. And temperatures should continue rising steadily over the weekend. And that's all for today's news. For more updates from Israel on all your devices, check out our ILTV channel, subscribe to our ILTV newsletter, and do not forget to check out our new and improved website, ILTV.tv, with all of the latest news from the heart of the State of Israel. I'm Amit Harari. Have an amazing weekend, and thank you so much for watching.